I realized in the previous video we missed a couple of things, so I'm going to quickly go through them. Promise isn't going to be as long as the previous one, but there are a couple of things that I just want to quickly look at. So as you can see here, we still have the same screen, the same investigation as we had in the last time. I'm going to try to get a little bit more interesting data in here. So I'm going to open up a new tab. And I'm going to search for a friend of mine called Andrew. His email address is andrewmohawk@gmail.com. And the first thing you'll see is, well, let's just go a little bit back. If I open a tab like this, you'll see that the nugget isn't there. This is because the JavaScript that actually renders the nugget hasn't been injected into this page. So if you want to switch off recording, for instance, you have to do it up there if you don't have a page open already, right? So here you have a page and you'll see that it's red. And the reason why it's red is that this button over here isn't selected. If I select it, this is what it normally looks like. Now it's recording pages, right? But if I select this button over here, you'll see if I just open it up like this, it says recording is off, right? And this means that now the extension is not recording anything. It gives you the ability to manually record stuff. So I'm going to click on this paste scrape page over here. And I'm going to say, I want to record this page in Vortimo. So that's that little button over there. If I click it, I'm just going to open this out. And if I click this button, it's going to say it's recorded at this date, right? So if I go back to, let's just go back to the searches. Let's say this particular link I didn't want to record, right? So wait for this to load. Okay, and this is idea 1 something. It's not on this, we're not recording this page. So we have recorded the Google search because we switched it on, right? And we've recorded the pastebin parser. So if I go to this page over here and I refresh, I see the Google search that I did. I see the pastebin parser page, but I don't see this idea1.com page. I don't see it. If I go to South African Punks download 2013, and it used to be in the scene, don't know if it's still. You can see, unless I click on this button over here, this page is not going to be recorded. Let's record this page. So there, I recorded it. It would tell me it's recorded at this date. If I go back here, there you go, that page is recorded, right? So that gives you the ability to easily switch recording on and off as you need it. So if you don't need to record every page, switch it off and manually do it. Although you tend to do, what I found is myself, I tend to forget to switch it to record pages. So I guess the whole nice thing about having an extension that's always recording is that you don't need to worry that you missed anything, right? But if you find that you want to use it like this, that's also fine. Okay, so I'm going to switch it on, so I'm recording everything. In fact, now that I'm going back into my UI, I'm going to just switch it off altogether. So there, it's all switched off. Okay, so I know that any page that I encounter now, I'm not gonna necessarily record. Now, the one thing that I want to show you quick is if we go to, let's say, email addresses. I'm just picking email addresses. You'll see we've now mined this email address of his from all the pages that we found. If we double click on this, it opens up a page where we get to do a lot of the things that we could do within the heads up display in the extension, but now it's in the UI. So I can make notes. I can say Andrew is, let's say Andrew is from Australia, which is not, but let's say is. And we can click on all of these buttons to Google that name, to search for that name on various different providers. I can go on this custom search engine. Now, this is a custom search engine that we build that looks at, like, I think Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. There's a whole lot of different social media providers that's in this custom search engine. And I found it to be very useful. GitHub, so you can see here it picks it up on GitHub, that email address has been used on GitHub. And then the other thing we have here at the bottom are what's called widgets. Now, not all the object types have widgets, but email addresses have it. And later on, we hope to have a little bit more widgets. And what it does is basically it makes an API call out to a provider, gets data, and it renders the data back in a standard and a uniform way between the different widgets. So let's call out to Clearbit with that with this email address of Andrew. I'm sure he doesn't mind. And it will tell me, okay, his full name is Andrew McPherson, his location, email address. Employment, if he filled that in, I don't know if I guess it gets it from LinkedIn. I'm not sure even where it gets it from. It tells you there's a GitHub profile, which we knew about just now. If we look it up on full contact, it says, gives me even more information, tells me his age, title. It is still a beta, so that's going to be there. Where he used to live, he's not there anymore, he's now in San Fran. Where he studied, which is really interesting. So even a link to his Facebook. And if I click on it, that will take me there, and that is indeed his Facebook profile. Which I can now decide I want to record. Let's just put that in there. And of course, if I go back, I can say, actually tag this, because now if I want to add it into a report, I can say tag this as also India, and tag this, full contact one, tag this to India as well. Now, when you go into the report, we said Australia. Okay. Anyhow, if we go to Australia, if we go to India, we'll see at the bottom. Here's the results of those widgets is in here with the little error and everything is in there. I can also move that around if I wanted to. Okay, so that is on the detail view that you see on objects. And of course, for different objects, it's going to be different. So if I look at, for instance, phone numbers, this is still from when I was looking at the Twitter account of Sachin Tendulkar. If I double click on it, the links here are different. Let's just see if this is still working. So the Segwa International School, you can see that it was mentioned there. If I click on it, it says Segwa International School. The other number is from someone, that name there. We can check that as well. We look it up in Trucaller. And you see he's got the surname Gupta, which is interesting for us always in South Africa. No relation, I'm sure. So I'm going to close these. For URLs, for instance, if I want to look at this URL, I can say, look on the Wayback Machine. Easily I can go to the Wayback Machine and see what's happening with this website and see what it looked like in 2010. But I do not have to tell you how the Wayback Machine works. So the other thing I want to talk about is detailed view on images and visits. If I double click on a visit over here, you'll see that I actually get the text from that was extracted. So all of the text that was extracted on that page, which I can easily copy out, jump to the top. On other searches, on other visits, if I have a previous and a next page where I came from, I can easily see how I got there. So in this case, I Google search Australia, then I went to this Britannica page, as you will remember from the last video. Then I went back to Google, and then I went to the next site, which was Visit Tourism, and then I went back to Google again. And so we can have a kind of idea of where we came from. This is detailed view on visits. On images, what is kind of cool is you'll see, let's just pick this image over here. I think it came from Andrew's Facebook page. You can see that the Exif is also given in here. And then, of course, you can easily do reverse image searches by clicking on the buttons. The defaults are there for Bing, Google, and Tineye. It's interesting that it doesn't have that in reverse image search. And the other thing that's really nice is I can search within the Exif. So you will see here is a little Exif contains thing. So if I search for Facebook Media, I get all photos that contains FBMD in there. So if I click on this one, see there's FBMD, which is a good indication that the photo comes from Facebook. So it's interesting, and I've done it in one of the other videos to say, you browse around and then you look at what images contains the FBMD tag, but that doesn't actually come from Facebook. Someone copied it from Facebook and put it on the website. The other thing you can do as well is you can easily say, okay, well, I'm only looking at, let's just look at really small pictures, tracking icons, things that are below a certain size, or let's look at something that is medium size pictures. Allows you to filter out quickly, stuff that you might not want to see. Okay, one more thing I want to show you is how you can configure highlighting on or off. Right, so if we go to, let's say we go to Wikipedia over here, we go to that Indian national cricket team that we wanted to go on. There we go. See, the extension is running. It's waiting for the page to load. And now we have these names, Ravi Sastry, Virat Kohli. Those are the names that we had highlighted, right? So what I want to do is let's go to Virat Kohli and make it one of the favorites. So we apply our tag on it, so it's going to get red highlighted. And let's take MS Dhoni and we make that also highlight. We also highlight MS Dhoni. Right. We can say in this nugget, we can configure in this nugget if we want to see highlighted text on this page, or if we want to see it, or if we only see the yellow lines. So if I click on it once, highlighting is switched off, right? And if I click on it again, it only shows me stuff that are favorited, that are tagged by hand. And if I click on it again, it shows me only the ones that are yellow highlighted, so computed highlights, which is Ravi Sastry over there. And if we click on it again, it shows you both, right? So you can easily go, oh, actually, let's say this page is not rendering well. If there's underlined, you could just switch it off. And if you switch it off, it will be switched off for this page. And actually, it will also be switched off for every page that you go to subsequent from there. So when it's off here, it's off everywhere else, right? Okay, so I hope this has been useful. If there's any other questions, feel free to DM us on Twitter or to email beta@vortimo.com. Thanks.